I'm a bit shy, so please bear with me through this. My name is Nonhle, as been introduced by Joe. I came to tell my story, the lessons that I've learned while I was conducting research. For the longest time, I've relied on other people's research to know more about natural resources and communities. However, from last year, I was given the opportunity to be able to go to the field and conduct my own research. So these will be the lessons that I've learned while doing that. Just to give you a background to be able to follow, research has indicated that marine living resources play a very important role to communities of coastal communities, and that especially that they provide animal protein. So it's like research has painted this picture that marine living resource is like vital to human well-being. So with that, but not much evaluation or quantification has been done to see how much contribution does it actually make to households of coastal communities. So my study wanted to go out there and actually quantify what the research has already said, that people actually rely very much on natural resource, in this instance marine living resource. But my findings were quite different from what I assumed I was going to get, which left me a bit puzzled and had more questions than ever. So initially, the aim of the study was to account for the value contribution of marine living resources to livelihood options, as I've said before. We were going to do this by evaluating the impact and the role marine living resources play to coastal communities. The expected outcomes included knowing how much people were relying on marine living resource, the livelihoods that already they had within the communities, what people thought, people believed on marine living resource, as there's this huge thing that marine living resource is declining. So we want to know what do communities who actually live by these resources think. So outcomes, obviously we're going to have reports of our findings, and possibly, if time permits, I was going to write a paper on it. We chose 4 sites. 2 from the north, 2 from the south, KwaXolo, Matikulu, Chalume, and KwaSokholo. The method that we used for our research was semi-structured interviews. Okay, this is a map on my side. This is Sokholo, Matikulu, Chalume, and KwaXolo. We interviewed 385 households. We did 10% of each site. Okay, here's the interesting part. With my understanding, these rural areas normally has no form of education. But when I went there, the majority of the households had secondary education, and there was more post-education than no schooling. So which raised a question, is the research we're using recent, or maybe it's too old? Because there's been a lot that has been done ever since 1994. Maybe it's time we changed what we think about rural areas. It's a question though. And a lot of main income from the household were government grants. So, and just a 45% who actually had work. Most households relied on gardens, like majority of them, like gardens were the main livelihood for them. Great, that's me there interviewing. So now I'll get into more details about what they use the marine living resources for. So 95% of the households said they use marine living resource. However, this does not mean that they relied on marine living resource. It was just like, yes, we use it. Most of them use it for food, and some sold it, which, as we might know, that we don't allow marine living resource to be sold in KZN. Okay, so more than 60% actually went over 3 to over a year without eating marine living resource at all. So, but the way this marine living resource is going, is it not used by communities, is another question. How do they access marine living resource? Majority bought, and with my understanding, they're supposed to be harvesting it because they don't have money to buy. So where are they getting money to buy marine living? So it's an option now to them to go to the shop. Okay, am I going to buy beef to give me animal protein, or am I buying fish? So it's no longer about like, it's a resource that's there, so we use that resource. As mentioned before, that 95% of the household use marine resource for food. However, when asked, would you go hungry if you did not access marine living resource, 69% said no. Which, I mean, I'm puzzled, like, okay, how is that so? Because now, with my understanding, you're here and you're really reliant to this thing. So if I take it away or I protect it, you're going to survive. You know, so it's like, I don't know. It's like, okay, what's going on? Some sold it. Usually it was a younger group who maybe are above 21 who now want to start their own thing and do their own thing. So those were usually males who sold marine living resources. But it wasn't a matter of like, it was a matter of like life and death. If, okay, we did not harvest, we'll go hungry. But like majority was like, okay, so we can have an income, those were like the answers that I got. So, which again left me puzzled with like, what is going on? But most fishermen actually question me about the fact that they know that there's a policy that has been approved for people to actually sell marine living resources, and in KwaZulu-Natal it's been quiet. So again, that brings tension between Ezemvelo and people, because it's like, okay, Ezemvelo now doesn't want people to go and sell fish while they are allowed nationally to do so. So some socio-economic factors that are contributing to people harvesting and fishing. These were normal, and I agree with them in the research that I did before conducting the study actually proved that unemployment play a very big role in people going to harvest, so that's a big challenge that we have. And it is normally with the youth, because the old people have pension, so now they're not worried about income or anything. They're just sitting there, it's like, hey, sorry about this little girl. So, yeah, and 45% actually harvest and fished as a sport. And I remember when I was presenting to my boss, I'm like, shouldn't we maybe find an alternative for those people who fish as a sport? And he was like, no, actually it's not much of an issue because it doesn't contribute much to decline of marine living resource. But I don't know, if so much people go and harvest, just like, let's go harvest for a sport, just, yeah. Some tangible benefits that marine living resource contribute to the communities that I interviewed included employment, where Ezemvelo employed people, and income from those who sold. Some indicated that the income actually helped with sending their kids to school. So some beliefs and attitude that were revealed included people saying, boats. We want the government to provide boats so we can get inside, because the white people who are finishing the fish inside. It's not us, because there's no fish now here. And people saying, no, we are aware that fish is declining, that we should be taking more care of it. But, I mean, if people don't have any alternatives, there's nothing they can do. Yeah, you can meet me outside and I'll tell you more about it. I'm not going to get into it. What I've learned as a young researcher, I've learned that it's very important to gain trust when you're working with communities, so they'll be able to open up to you and give you as much information. And there's a very high need for Ezemvelo to change people's mindset about what we stand for and what relationship we want to have with people, because there's this big thing that Ezemvelo is about protecting animals. They don't care about people. I even had a scandal where I couldn't work, because Inkosi had feared that people were actually going to hurt me, because I come from Ezemvelo. I had to go with someone every day who's going to protect me from these community members. So there's a big need for Ezemvelo to get out there and build a strong relationship with people, because people are the ones who live with these natural resources. And whenever I came into this house, people would go there's been 5 people who came already and asked me the same questions. So clearly, there are many of us conducting the same research, and people are just getting tired of us coming there and asking the same question all over again. So there's a need for us to, meet and share information, so there will be no need for me to go to the same place and ask the same questions, because people are just going to get annoyed. And I've learned that the ability for a person to value a resource is closely linked to them using it. Because I would go to a house and I'll ask an old man if he hasn't fished in his entire life, I'm like, if you had to sell a fish, how much you sell it? For 3 rand. Okay, and I'll go ask the fisherman, if you had to sell a fish, how much? 30 rand. There's so much difference. So the value of a resource is linked to the person who uses it. So there's this need not to group a community, but have different groups to attend to within the community, instead of saying umtalum. Have umtalum and have groups within umtalum who fish that you address independently and address other people independently, because you won't get to know where people are with those resources. And communities are very open to conservation. Actually, they know about it. It's in different terms now. It's in English, it's scientific. So, but they know about it. But still, there's a need for environmental awareness programs to go out there, because things are changing. There are new approaches. So there's a need for us to go out there and communicate with people how things are done now, how things are looking. What else? Yeah, I think I've touched on that unemployment and poverty was the main driver for people to go and fish unlegally. So when you ask the person why do you know you're not supposed to sell, they'll tell you, I know, and I always run from Ezemvelo offices, but I just need money. I need money because I'm poor, all of that stuff. I'm done. I'd like to thank my mentor, Joe Vadima, my senior ecology research at the back, Pindile Kulu, people who helped me on the site, and Sandy for providing us the program. Thank you.